on the iHeartRadio app. And then they'll finish that series tomorrow afternoon before they hit the West Coast. In fact, those West Coast games are preempting my metal show on Saturday night. There's no 2 hours to midnight this Saturday night because it's a 9:40 Guardians game. And it's a holiday weekend too, right? We got a 3-day weekend coming up.
You getting out of town? You do anything?
I'm sure we're doing something. I don't know what that's going to consist of, but yeah, I don't know. We have a lot of traveling this summer. We have a bunch of weddings. So, yeah, a lot of plates to spin. Boy, between Honey Jackie and Dick today, it has been
big segment.
It has been, I mean, my head is still spinning. My head is spinning like Perez Bilton is spinning. My head is spinning like Bill Squire spins.
Oh, spin. I like to keep that for Perez Bilton.
Yeah, no, I know. I got it. So anyway, Guardians baseball tonight. Thursday on the show, actor-comedian Paul Scheer will join me. He's got an autobiography that's out.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him
He's
too.
Very funny.
Very funny.
How Did This Get Made is one of my favorite podcasts. I love that so much.
It's been around for a long time.
So funny.
Yeah.
So funny. Well, I also love Jason Mantzoukas too. But.
Yeah, he's one of my wife's favorites. So Paul Scheer is going to be on. He's got a book called The Joyful Recollections of Trauma. He's got a hot wife too. So Paul Scheer Thursday. Our friend Ian Bagg is doing the weekend at Hilarities. He will be back in here on Friday afternoon. Our friend Mary Santora will be back here in the studio on Friday. How about that?
Live action, man.
How about that?
Yeah, buddy.
But I'll come. How about that?
Come on.
I hope he'll come to my show tonight at Brothers Lounge.
Who, Dick? He'll drive all the way from Dayton?
I don't want him there, actually. But I want everybody else to come.
Yeah.
Everybody that's listening right now that can make it tonight. We're doing a comedy, like short sets, like 10-minute sets. But it's being filmed for YouTube, and, they'll do all the social media stuff. But the better part of it is...
Short as in length. The comedians are not all performing in shorts.
No.
Okay.
No.
They're all under 5'5".
Yeah. I don't think any of them are, actually. But they're going to be doing... they're going to be on a compilation album that will hopefully get picked up by SiriusXM, and this is a good way for comics to head in that direction of making money doing comedy and doing it full time. So hopefully people come out. BillSquire.com for tickets.
We have a lot of people who listen to the show on the iHeartRadio app from out of state. And if you're one of those people, I'd like to know where you are. Make sure that I put you on our map. Zach listens in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. Melanie's in Smithville, Tennessee. Andrea's in Riverside, Illinois. And we have a handful of bureau chiefs in the great state of Alaska. We have Andrew in Cooper Landing. We've got people in Juneau. Cole drives for FedEx out there in Juneau, Alaska. Jeff is in Palmer, Alaska. Another one of these people killed by a moose.
Dude, those things are huge.
Because they were trying to get pictures of newborn moose calves. And I just don't know what people are thinking. This is an older guy. And a 70-year-old Alaska man, Dale Chorman of Homer.
Dale.
Of Homer, Alaska, was attempting to take photos of two newborn moose calves and was attacked and killed by the mother. He and another guy were in the process of trying to run away when the mother charged at them. Well, they were trying to run away from her charging. They were walking through the brush and trying to take pictures. I just don't know, with the Zoom capabilities on people's phones and cameras, I just don't know why anybody needs to get that close. Safe distance seems to be the order of the day.
Yeah, but this guy, if he's a native and he's been around moose his entire life, he probably thinks oh, I know how to play this. I've been around moose before.
And he might have been right. He might have been, it just takes the one moose to kill you. He and his friend were both attacked as they were running away. I hesitate to say attack, by the way. I mean, maybe because, if you have been around as many moose as this guy could have been, you also know that any animal in nature is going to try to protect its newborns. So I would never get anywhere near an animal that had just had babies that were in the immediate vicinity.
Dude, there was where the hell was I? Actually, at that Whole Foods in Rocky River, a couple years ago, they had to block off a part of the parking lot because a Canadian goose, laid her eggs there and was like terrorizing people. So they blocked off a part of the parking lot so that nobody could get too close to the goose because it was like chasing people away and trying to bite them and stuff.
Yeah, they're protecting the people from the goose, not the other way around.
But what I'm saying is because people were getting too close to her eggs.
Yeah.
That's like the maternal instinct of the animal kingdom. You come too close to my babies, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was driving to work the other morning, and there was a huge line of brown ducks or whatever they are. They were crossing the road. And there's a guy right behind me, and I can tell looking in the rearview mirror, this is not an opportune time for this to be happening to this guy. And so I'm like, okay, well, these ducks are going to cross the street, but then they kind of stop, and then they're kind of milling around, and then they're not kind of, and this guy behind me starts honking. And I'm like, does that do anything? I mean, I didn't honk because I don't think that does
he's probably
anything.
Honking at you.
But why honk at me? I'm waiting for the ducks to go.
Because he's like, screw these ducks, run them over.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's thinking that. You could be right, but I assumed he was honking to try to get them to move. But I'm like, these things could not care less. They are not, they're not scared of cars or people.
We're living in their world.
Yes, of course. So if he was honking at me, it didn't do any good because I didn't move. I'm waiting for these things to cross. But I can't believe that these animals didn't realize they were holding that guy up. But this guy and his friend start running away, trying to get away from the moose. And the one guy got away, but Dale Chorman did not. He was pronounced dead at the scene. And then the moose and
how did she do it? She stompled him.
Stompled him.
Yeah,
That's what it says.
Oh, another tragic stompling in Alaska by a moose.
Got all stompled to
Oh,
death.
no.
Ladies and gentlemen, a moose stompling in Homer was
Okay, but say that doesn't sound like a real word.
stomple.
Yeah.
Stomping and trampling. It's stompling.
Yeah. He stompled him.
Well, they
Wasn't
say
that a
that.
song you got me tripping and stompling.
Yeah. His friend, they said, did not witness the attack. He was running so far in the other direction that he didn't see what happened. So authorities couldn't say if the moose killed Chorman by kicking or stomping him or a combination.
Stompling.
Which is pretty wild because, Fish and Game will come out, and they're like, we didn't even realize that moose knew combinations. Because a jab cross in the wild, that's very rare. Occasionally, you might see like a lead uppercut from an animal, maybe a rear hook. But generally, if I'm hearing them correctly, and I think I am, the combinations are very, very infrequent in the wild. There's no mention of stompling, though.
I think that's why they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. It was about 20 years ago that a moose stomped another man to death on the campus of the University of Alaska, Anchorage. You're just trying to get from class to class, and there's moose on the quad, and you have to keep, because you decided to go to school in Alaska. Students had been throwing snowballs and harassing the moose and its calf for hours. And then a 71-year-old man tried to walk past the students, and the animals attacked him.
Oh, man, this poor guy.
So he's just trying to get from point A to point B, and these dimwit students are whipping snowballs at the moose. There are 200,000 moose in the state of Alaska. The human population is a little over 3 times that. So it's just not a good idea to whip. I would think, you might not be somebody to commune with nature on a regular basis, but maybe not whip snowballs at any animals. So
Especially ones that can stomple you.
The stompling is
like a squirrel or something. That's
fine, harmless.
Yeah. Completely.
An adult female moose can weigh up to 800 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Big mama.
A large adult male can weigh twice that. So listen, animals are unpredictable. I keep my distance from animals. Even if you see something that looks like it's probably harmless, keep your distance. Mary's there in Astoria. It's not nature, but she's surrounded by raccoons.
But it is the jungle.
The concrete jungle.
No, there's not that many. I haven't seen that many raccoons.
Well,
There's
they're
one in the
back
park.
there in your garbage cans, probably.
No,
Crawl
those
through
are the
your
unhoused.
screenless window.
Yeah. Yup. You get a little trash pandas curling up with you in bed.
No, thank you.
What the hell's going on in here?
No,
All I did was
thank
I
you.
opened up my I just opened up my window. I wanted to get some fresh air. But a raccoon came and started to spoon me. That wasn't good.
Raccoon spoon.
Yeah, raccoon spoon. I got some sperm news for you. Well, bad news for your nuts, boys. They have done a series of studies. You can't go any kind of day now and not read an article on microplastics. That they're in everything. They're in the water. They're in the soil. They're in everything. And they're starting to find a higher concentration of microplastics in human and dog testicles. And they're saying that they think there's a direct correlation between this and the diminishing sperm count of human men. So we have a lot of plastic in our balls. Because it's everywhere, right? What do they say now? They're like, on average, people eat the equivalent of a couple
7 spiders.
credit
a year.
cards a year. No, now it's been upgraded to credit cards. The spider thing was debunked. But the credit cards, because microplastic is in everything.
But how's it like getting into our nuts?
Well, I mean,
Is our body digesting it and turning it into sperm?
I don't know. They tested human testes as well as pet dog testes, and they found microplastic pollution in every sample. The humans had a plastic concentration 3 times higher than those found in dogs, but you can't get away from it now. Can't get away from microplastics everywhere. So I
should get
say,
my balls replaced with plastic just to,
like a nudicle.
yeah, like just speed it up.
I say, lean into it. I mean, you can't do anything about it. There's nothing anyone can do about the presence of microplastics. So pervasive. We've done this to ourselves, so lean into it. It's only a matter of time before they're going to cross the axes on the plastic food spectrum, where they're going to make edible plastics.
It's called fruit by the foot, and it already exists.
Isn't that what they made? Fruit roll-ups, basically, isn't that what they make like edible undies out of?
Yeah.
Fruit roll-ups. Fruit by the foot. Yeah, that's going to be a hard bit of hard detective work. The Bumble company, the dating app Bumble, is apologizing to users who got angry because they did a billboard ad campaign that was anti-celibacy. And all the people who are into celibacy got mad, except those also aren't the people on Bumble,
I thought it was
I would imagine.
a joke that they made a joke like, if you can't find a
They
match
did.
on here, then try celibacy.
No,
That's not-
the billboard was, full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I must
Because
have
they
misread
changed
that.
Bumble now to where the guys can hit you up. Like the hook with Bumble was the women hit you up. And then they realized very quickly, well, this ain't going to work.
That's
so
how I met my girl.
on Bumble,
Bumble.
she hit you up.
Yep.
Well, they switched it now to where the guys can reach out. But I think it's funny the people who are probably not on Bumble are all complaining and whining
That's how it always is.
about a celibacy thing.
The loudest people are usually the ones who are least affected by these.
No,
type
but
of
what I'm
things.
saying is there are so many niche dating apps. There has to be one for celibates.
Yeah, it's like isn't there, like Plenty of Fish. Which one's the Christian one?
Christian Mingle.
The Christian Mingle.
But those people aren't celibate. They're just not having sex till marriage. That's different. Celibacy is no sex at all, no matter what.
Yeah, quote unquote, no sex before marriage. Most
No,
of the
no.
freaks are on Christian Mingle.
I think that, like you are celibate until you're married.
No.
That's yes.
Yeah, I
No.
think that's yes.
Yes.
I thought celibacy was like a way of life. Like I am someone who vows celibacy, which means I never plan on having
You can
sex
take
at
a
all.
vow of celibacy.
I mean, if you're clergy,
if you're
but
clergy,
No,
but
I don't think it's. I didn't think it had to do with religious views. That some people are just like, I'm not into sex.
No, there
I'm
are
I'm
people-
celibate.
There are people like that.
that. Like Rivers Cuomo famously lived a life of celibacy for 2 years, and then he found his wife, and they're married, and they have sex. You don't stay celibate most of the time. It's more of just like, I'm getting away from casual sex to actually make a connection with somebody, rather than just keep hooking up and letting sex run the relationship.
most of the Christian coupling type things are we're not doing that until we're married.
Right.
No, I knew that, but I thought celibacy was its own thing. Like I knew it was tied to Christianity, but I thought
It
there
is
were
its
people,
own thing.
I thought that there was a whole group of people who were not religious at all that are just like, yeah, no, I just don't, not into
There
sex.
are, but it's also like fundamental, if you pardon the pun, to all that Jesus-y stuff too.
Yeah.
That's why those girls are the freaks. That's why all the public school kids were coming over trying to date Catholic school girls. They heard that Chili Pepper song. They knew what was up. But there has to be celibacy.
Flea calls them the Red Hots.
Oh. There has to be celibacy apps. There's an app called Taste Buds. Connects you to your tastes in music.
Oh.
Lucid is the sober-friendly dating app.
Hey, look at that.
Mm-hmm. Bunch of boring-ass people on that.
You just go to a meeting.
I
life there.
got a break here. If you want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com if you want to watch. Last chance today to grab some money is coming up at 5:30. Next keyword to grab $1,000 from the Buzzard bookie.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device.